Hello everyone, welcome to the weekly Purple Penny coin and banknote news video. My name is Mark. I own and run the Purple Penny along with my wife Catherine. We've been doing these videos for coming up to 3 years, and the Purple Penny shop here in Mawson Lakes has its 4th birthday in about 7 weeks or so. So 4 years has flown by. It's been a decent week here in the shop. Things have, I think, settled back after the passing of the Queen and the 2022 Red Poppy stuff. The last couple of weeks we've settled back to, I would say, almost normal levels of activity, which is something that we're really appreciative of, because it allows us to get through some of the material that's in our stockroom and get plenty of new stuff up on our website and out and about in the shop. So it has been a good couple of weeks here. I've had a good time, seen some good stuff, talked to some really interesting people, and things are going along really well. So let's say a few hellos to people here. We've got Paul, hi Paul, Brett, Mike, Gwen, Ogie, John, Greg, Robbie. Hello Robbie, you must be having a day off because it's raining, you can't play golf, mate. Gloria, Catherine, who's just out there catching up on the weekend's mailing, and Andrew. Thank you everyone for watching today. Before I get started today, I've neglected to put this in the news the last couple of weeks, but if you were a reader of Australian Coin and Banknote magazine, you would know that the last issue of that was published in October or November last year, and the editor, John Mulhall, became very ill and was unable to continue with the publishing of that magazine. The IP, I believe, was purchased by Imperial Coins up in Queensland, and they have rebranded and relaunched CAB Magazine and taken up the old name of Australian Coin Review. So the first edition of that magazine was published just in the last couple of weeks. The layout has changed, the paper has changed, the printing quality has changed. So if you are into paper magazines and into coins, then do think about subscribing to that magazine. Imperial has set up subscription pages online and all that sort of stuff, brought the magazine into the 21st century. So well worth a look if you are into coins. There were some good articles in there, especially about market news and things like that, so well worth a read. Australian Coin Review, just relaunched this month. Right, a couple more hellos. Hi Tanya, Peter, Pal, Petra and Pauline. Right, we don't have a topic of the day today because there was a whole bunch of stuff I wanted to talk about, just sort of some leftover questions from last week's Q&A. Also a couple of things that came into the shop this week that I wanted to share with you, and then just some interesting things in the news. So I'm just going to exit stage left here and grab something to show you. So we were lucky enough to purchase some of these in the last few days. Those of you who have been around coin and banknote collecting for a little while might know what these are. They are decimal currency training notes. They were produced to help bank staff deal with what the new banknotes looked like. So these are $10 training notes. Interestingly, they were made on paper that was intended to be used for pre-decimal notes that was never used. So the notes themselves are printed on paper that has what's called security threads in them. So they have fine silk threads actually in the paper as a security measure. We bought a few thousand of these. So we have rather a large number of these. They're available in the shop for a couple bucks each. If anyone's interested in any of those, we'll do 10 of them for 25 bucks posted or something if you're interested in those. Decimal training notes, $10 notes, pretty good souvenir of 1966 decimal changeover, and I would say with some degree of confidence that we have the most of these in Australia right now. Other items in the news, we'll just pop up the news slide here. So surprises from the Mint in the last week were that the Sydney Opera House coins, all of those coins were postponed, and at the moment postponed indefinitely. So they are not going to be released on Thursday, the 6th of April. We don't know what's happening with them. We just got sort of a vague notification from the Mint about something between the Mint and the Sydney Opera Trust, and they are currently postponed, and we don't know when they're going to appear. The second item of interest that the Mint told us about was 2 Australian Antarctic Territory coloured 50-cent coins on cards that are being released out of sync with all the other products. They're actually being released on the first Monday of April, and this is one of these coins that is a corporate minting. So the coins have been commissioned by a company, and they have paid the Mint to make those coins, and I believe that that company now has the vast majority of those coins to sell themselves. So as such, authorised RAM dealers like us don't get an allocation from the Mint. I believe the Mint will have some for sale through their shop on release day, which is Monday the, let me just do the maths in my head, 3rd I think, Monday the 3rd. Release price is $15 each. The coins are Emperor Penguin and Killer Whale, I believe. Catherine has figured out who to contact to see if we can get an allocation of these coins directly from that corporate that has commissioned the minting of these. We're hoping to get some, but we don't know yet if we will be getting any. We are taking names for them. So yeah, a bit of a surprise issue, that one, and could be a little bit tough to get hold of. The other thing is that the Vietnam $2 coins have arrived 2 weeks early, which is pretty unusual, and they're really well done. It's actually a very nice looking coin. The colorization is very good. It is very good. One of the better coins that I have seen. So well done to the Mint on that. Right. If you are a regular watcher of this channel, you would know a few weeks ago I talked about a British coin dealer in ancient coins that had been arrested in the USA, and it was to do with the fabrication of provenance around a gold coin that had auctioned in 2020. So we'll just pop this slide up here for you. There's the coin there. It's the what's called the Eid-Mar gold coin. Eid-Mar is the Ides of March, the 15th of March. This coin was, now people will correct me on this because I'm not 100% sure of the origins of this coin, but it was minted by Brutus after the assassination of Julius Caesar. It was minted in Brutus's army camp in northern Greece as a reminder of the assassination of Caesar, and he was assassinated on the 15th of March, Eid-Mar, which is the Ides of March. So this coin was minted as a propaganda piece. There's only 3 of these coins in gold known, and 100 or 200 of the same coin in silver. This particular one surfaced in about 2013 in the hands of a Greek gentleman and then a coin dealer in the UK by the name of Roman Numismatics. Now, the coin was shopped around and it wasn't sold in auction until 2020, and by 2020 it had a provenance saying that it was taken from the collection of a Swiss Earl or a Swiss Count. I can't quite remember exactly. Anyway, sold for $4.2 million US in 2020. At that point was the world record for an ancient coin. Now, the owner of Roman Numismatics was arrested early this year in the USA and was charged with grand larceny plus a number of other charges. The Greek gentleman who he obtained the coin from was arrested last year and found in possession of looted material from Greece. So, you know, you connect the dots here and it sounds like that the US government is suggesting that the Greek gentleman has acted as a fence between people who were obtaining things inappropriately from Greece and coin dealers and distributing the items that way. So the Greek government says this coin was probably recovered in northern Greece about 10 years ago, and that marries up nicely with the idea that this coin has been known for about 10 years and was looted, removed from the country, and then a coin dealer has been charged with theft of that, and the provenance of that coin is debatable as well. So this coin has now been returned to Greece along with a number of other artifacts, statues and jewellery and things like that, valued at more than $20 million. So countries do take other countries' treasure laws seriously, and I suspect that this is going to send shockwaves through the ancient coin market, because from what I understand, the whole idea of appropriating coins inappropriately is, while it's frowned upon, it's not particularly well enforced in that market. So yeah, big coin news, that one, big coin news. Paul says it's a Swiss baron, not a count. So thank you for that, Paul. Thanks for sharing that with us. We'll just go back to the news slide here. Next item I wanted to talk about was a question that Gloria had last week about single bar 50 cent. Those of you who have been around decimal coins for a little while will have heard of the double bar. So the double bar 50 cent is a design feature that was included in the original 50 cent reverse design as designed by Stuart Devlin. Now at the lower right there, the emu there, you can see from a 1966 50 cent, and you can see two faint lines leading from the back of the emu's head to the grass behind it. So that's a double bar. For whatever reason, that was removed from the design. I've heard colloquially that it had to do with it creating a weak spot in the die, so those two bars were removed. But then in 1979 and 1980 they appeared back again, so someone's used a master punch that still had those double bars on there, and for some of the 50 cent pieces from 1979 and 1980 that double bar reappeared. And if you're dead set lucky, you might find a 1979 proof set with the 50 cent having that double bar as well. So Gloria asked if there was what's called a single bar. Now, it's not something I've ever heard of, and Ty Davies was kind enough to share an image with us of what he's calling his single bar, and his image is at the top right there, and you can see that there's a bar leading from the emu's jawline back to the grass behind it. Now, you will note that that bar is in very different location to the bar on the 1966 50 cent, and it is in a very different location to the double bar on 1979 and 1980 50 cent pieces. So while Ty's coin definitely has a bar there, I'm not going to say that it is the same design feature as normally seen on a double bar. What it is, I don't know. Die gouge, something like that, not sure, but I don't think it is a genuine single bar. So does a single bar variety exist? Currently, I don't know. Thank you to Ty for supplying those images, and thank you to Gloria for asking that question last week. Back to the news here. Counterfeit 50 cent. Last week we came across, or the week before, we came across a counterfeit 50 cent. Never seen a counterfeit 50 cent before. Not sure why someone would bother with a counterfeit 50 cent, but there's no real rhyme or reason to what people do with their spare time. Oh no, that's the wrong one. There we go. There's the counterfeit 50 cent piece there. Initially, at first, we thought it was a bit of an error, but with close examination, it's clear that it is actually counterfeit. So someone has taken the time here to create a mold from a real 50 cent piece and then cast it in what I'm going to call pot metal, because it's mostly tin and zinc. We did test it with the XRF, and then ground down the sides to make it look the correct shape, and then put it into circulation. I really don't understand why. The amount of effort that's gone into it far outweighs the value of it. Someone, when I posted this up on Facebook last week, someone actually broke down the amount of time probably taken to create this, and it's certainly not worth the time of whoever did it. But interesting nonetheless. Never seen a fake 50 cent piece before. Probably don't ever expect to see another one. But someone has spent some real time and effort creating that fake 50 cent piece there. What a weird thing. A weird thing. Now, we'll just have a look at the comments because there is a few comments I noticed. Right. Just scroll back up through here. Hello, Sandy. How are you? Hi, Pauline. Hi, Cam. Hi, Trina. Hi, Daryl. Hi, Glenn. Thank you, mate. Much appreciated. Hello, Ivan. Hi, Aaron. Brandon talking about the single bar 50-cent pieces that damage to the die. Probably Brandon. I mean, that's what I think it is. It looks like a die gouge to me. Gloria, glad that's the one that you can look out for. Hello, Wayne. 50-cent double bar. What year is worth more? I think in circulated condition, Wayne, I don't think either of them is really worth too much of anything. I believe the 1979 is harder to find, with more of the 1980 vintage having the double bar feature on it. Trina says that was the dodgiest looking 50-cent I've ever seen. It was fairly dodgy, Trina. I agree. So Sandy's agreeing with me. The 1979 double bar is less common. Hi, Mick. And is it a counterfeit double bar too? Actually, you know, I didn't even take note of what year the fake 50-cent piece was. Let's have a look here. It's a 1980. I'll have to actually have a look at that and see if it is a fake double bar. If it is a fake double bar, it's a score on many different levels. Right, the next item that I wanted to talk about was the double Upverse 5-cent. A gentleman posted a question last week about that, and I didn't answer it in the video. He asked what the mintage of the double Upverse 2007 5-cent was. Now, before we get into that, we'll just talk about what it is first. If you've been around coin collecting for a little while, you would know what this is. If you haven't, it might be new to you. But the Mint did actually release a number of genuine double-headed or double Obverse 2007 5-cent pieces. How many? Don't know. Why don't we know? Well, firstly, because the Mint didn't do it deliberately. And secondly, we don't know what percentage of them have been found, but I believe there is a coin noodler in Sydney who has found at least 100, probably more than 100 of them, and that suggests a mintage, you know, in the high hundreds or the low thousands. They're not found remotely as often as 2000 mils, but maybe that's because people don't look through 5 cents as often, but certainly several hundred to the low thousands, I would have thought. And if the coin noodling community really knuckled down and they... Hey everyone, yeah, the computer had a bit of a problem there. Just hang on 1 second. It decided that the camera that we used was no longer connected, which obviously it was. So we're just adjusting the video here. Okay. Right, so we're back anyway. Technology, gotta love it. Now, what were we talking about? We were talking about the double Obverse 5-cent piece. So we'll just jump back to that slide there. Right, so the double Obverse 5-cent piece is 2007. As I said, there's a collector in Sydney that has found at least 100 of them. They sell for high hundreds to low thousands of dollars. They are real. They do have correctly upset obverse and reverses. Now, how are they made? People generally think that they are mint sport. Now, we've sort of heard through the grapevine that it was a Mint employee that did it deliberately, and that the Mint employee has been prosecuted. That's what we've heard through the grapevine. Whether that's true or not, we don't know. We've never actually found any evidence of that online. But certainly Mint Sport, certainly mintages, I'm suggesting in the low thousands. Peter Andrews is in the comments suggesting tens of thousands. I don't know exactly how many. I don't think anyone ever will, but you know, if a person managed to do an entire die run of these, you could be talking 200,000. I guess we'll never know, but certainly They don't show up as often as what I thought they would be if there was hundreds of thousands of them. But as I said, 5-cent pieces aren't as popular to noodle as $2 and dollar coins, so perhaps that's simply the reason why. Certainly for a lot of years, the mintage of the 2000 mule was suspected to be quite low, but the numbers that they're showing up these days, it's likely to be considerably higher than what is generally accepted. Now, the next item in the news here, we'll just jump back to the slide so I can keep up to where I'm up to. Now, this is a more noodling news. Now, a few weeks ago, you may have noticed that I shared a notice that was up in our local bank about coin exchanges over the counter for personal bank accounts. They were limiting coin exchanges from notes to coins to $50. Well, they've added another sign this week, and this is coming into play 2 weeks after the coin exchange limit. They are limiting coin withdrawals to $50 as well. So why would they be doing that? Probably because people thought they could get around the coin exchange limit by going and depositing their notes into the bank account through the ATM and then going in and withdrawing coin over the counter and neatly sidestepping their regulations, the bank's internal regulations that way. So again, while I don't have a great deal of fondness for the banks, I do understand why they're doing it, because it does cost them real money in terms of wages and time. And they are always trying to cut costs, and this is one way that they can certainly cut the costs. Coin noodlers that are noodling through tens of thousands of coins a week really can't complain about it, because they're really just doing it to try and make a profit as well. As I've always said, if you are really interested in noodling through tens of thousands of coins a week, contact a security company and they will be more than happy to do a delivery to you. There will be a charge for it. It isn't free. And then you can noodle through those coins and see if you can still make some money when you're actually paying some real costs. Coin noodling is a great thing. It is a great entry into coin collecting, but a very small number of people can easily ruin it for everyone else by putting the banks offside, and they've certainly done that. Roll machines are disappearing quickly, and if local branches are doing what our bank is doing and preventing you from changing coins, then you can easily understand why. Right, the last item that I wanted to talk about today was a Perth Mint mega coin, and Catherine found this last week and asked me if I could buy one, and the answer was a definite no. So what they're releasing is what they call the jeweled lunar coin. And this is a coin that is made from 10 ounces of gold. It includes 175 hand-set argyle pink diamonds, 111 set white diamonds for a total caratage of 4.02 carats of diamonds. It's got 2 emeralds, and you can see from the pictures there, it's got a lovely 3D image of a snake on it. I believe this is the 6th coin in the jeweled series. They're making 8 of them, and they're making them to order, and you too could have one for $289,000. But they do say quite optimistically on the product page that the last 5 issues of these have sold out, so if you really want one, you'd better get in quick, because they seem to be fairly confident that this one is going to sell out as well. Is it the most expensive coin I've seen from an Australian mint? Yes, it is. It is the most expensive coin I've seen from an Australian mint. So 10 ounces of gold, 4 carats of diamonds, and just 2 lowly emeralds for the bejeweled dragon lunar coin. Quite a remarkable thing. I'd probably just like to see one. I'd certainly never want to own one, because I'd have to sell my house to buy one, and I can't live in a gold coin. So there we go. That's it for today. I do apologise for the technical problems. There's always a new technical problem that's waiting to get me. Just have a quick look through the comments here. Hey Aaron, thanks for coming back. Sandy, thanks for coming back. Daryl, Gwen. Peter's commented there quite wisely about the mintage of the double-headed 5-cent piece. He's suggesting the mintage is likely to be in the tens of thousands. Hello Rick, welcome back Paul. Peter says you do find them far more often in New South Wales. So what Peter's suggesting there is that even though they are found quite often in New South Wales, that doesn't necessarily mean that the mintage is in the tens of thousands, because perhaps the 4,000 or 5,000 that were made all landed in New South Wales and they haven't moved from there. Welcome back, Sandy. We shouldn't stop moving. And that's about it, I think. Oh, there's Catherine there making noises about the Perth Mint bejeweled lunar snake coin. And I think that will wind us up for today, because Facebook is really starting to irritate me. Right. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Thank you so much for making your way back from the dead video to this video. I really do appreciate the feedback that we get through these videos, and the questions that we get and the interaction we get. It makes them fun, and if there wasn't fun, I wouldn't be doing it. Happy collecting, stay safe. Keep an eye on our Facebook page about the Australian Antarctic Territory 50-cent pieces. Hopefully we'll find something out in the next few days about those. And happy collecting. Bye for now. See you next week.